Julian, you doing okay? I frowned, thrown by the strange question from my old manager, Kevin Miller. Yeah, I'm Fina. What's up? Is something wrong? Ah, so you haven't seen it. There was a pause on the other end, followed by a heavy sigh. Just Google Celebwire. It's the top story. After he hung up, my brow furrowed. I knew Kevin. He wasn't the type to make baseless calls. I unlocked my phone and searched for Celebwire, a notorious entertainment gossip site. A cold knot formed in my stomach. Did someone find out about me? I stared at my phone with a sense of dread, and a single headline made my heart plummet. 1. Even with the photo's grainy quality, I recognized her instantly. My own wife. She was wearing a black dress, a crimson blazer draped over one shoulder as she laughed, turning her head to talk to the man beside her. His arm was casually slung over her shoulder. I had picked out that black dress for her myself. Suddenly, the phone slipped from my grasp and clattered to the floor. All the strength drained from my body, and I collapsed onto the sofa. No way, I thought. It's just a publicity stunt. For a pop star of her caliber, a little manufactured gossip is part of the game. Chloe wasn't like that. I had to trust her. It was just a misunderstanding, something we could clear up the moment we talked. It was no big deal. I sat there, numb, for what felt like an eternity, but was only half an hour, my mind a complete blank. My eyes drifted to the frame on the wall, our wedding photo. In it, Chloe's smile was radiant, a breathtaking vision of gentle beauty. Nothing like the icy, untouchable goddess the public knew. Today was our wedding anniversary. My gaze fell on the candles and the special dinner I prepared, and a suffocating tightness gripped my chest. According to her schedule, she was supposed to be home in 30 minutes. For some reason, I just didn't have the energy to deal with any of it anymore. 30 minutes passed in a flash. Chloe still wasn't back. I picked up my phone and called her. She answered almost immediately. I'm in the middle of something. Can't talk. I'll be skipping dinner. Before I could even get a word out, her cool voice delivered the line, and she hung up. Listening to the dial tone, a wave of exhaustion washed over me. 3 years of marriage. When did we become so distant? When did our conversations shrink to nothing? Is it worth it? Everything I've given up for her. The question surfaced, impossible to ignore. Have I been too good to her? Outside, the last traces of sunset vanished behind the skyline. The city lights began to paint the dark canvas of the night, and my thoughts drifted back. 5 years ago, she was just a rookie who had debuted with a girl group. I, on the other hand, was already making a name for myself in the music industry, having just won the Vanguard Award for Best New Artist at the AMAs. For me, it was love at first sight. I was captivated by her cool demeanor and her sweet voice. We fell hard and fast. Those early days were perfect. We were inseparable. But our luck didn't last. Her group's popularity plummeted, and they were on the verge of being dropped by their label. Seeing her so heartbroken, I couldn't stand it. To help her, I wrote 5 new songs for her. Her popularity soared. As I watched her career take off, I proposed. We chose to keep our marriage a secret so it wouldn't interfere with her dreams. For a pop idol, being married could be career suicide. If we were both in the spotlight, our schedules would have kept us apart, and even the strongest love can be eroded by time and distance. So, for her, I willingly stepped back. I gave up a promising career to support her from the shadows. For 3 years, I managed our home perfectly. When her mom or her sister needed something, I was the one who handled it. She was always too busy. I thought that was enough to make us last forever, but about 6 months ago, she slowly stopped sharing things about her work, the people she met. She grew impatient with my concern. The number of times we ate dinner together dwindled. I saw it happening. I tried everything I could think of to win her back, but it felt like the distance between us only grew. Marriage is a two-way street. What's the point if only one person is trying? Ring, ring. The sound of my phone jolted me from my thoughts. I answered, and a cheerful, playful voice chirped on the other end. Congratulations, brother-in-law. It was Chloe's younger sister, Haley. Congratulations for what? Haley pouted, her voice full of mock indignation. For winning the Masked Singer, duh. Don't even try to deny it was you. That's so not cool. Keeping it a secret even from me. My roommate was binging the finale in our dorm. Otherwise, who knows how long you would have kept it hidden. A bitter smile touched my lips. So, they recognized me after all. It was just a fluke. Haley's sweet voice became exaggerated. A fluke? You beat Marcus Thorne, a living legend. And you call that a fluke? Yeah, and what good did it do me? I thought bitterly, I probably won't even be your brother-in-law for much longer. Hey, did you tell my sister the good news? She's going to be so thrilled. The girl's voice was bright with excitement, and she giggled, probably imagining Chloe's surprised face. Not yet. I'm a senior now, Julian. I'm so over classes. I was thinking of moving to Chicago. You think you could help me find an internship? Haley's tone was cunning, despite her attempt to sound pitiful. I could almost hear the gears turning in her head. What? You're coming to Chicago? I asked, surprised. Yeah, and I could just stay at your place. My sister is always out of town anyway. I can be your assistant, take care of you, you know. I sighed. I knew my sister-in-law well. She was the complete opposite of Chloe. Easygoing, happy to just get by. All right, I'll find something for you. Haley was overjoyed. Thank you so much. You're a lifesaver, Julian. I owe you big time. Late that night, the front door opened. Chloe walked in, looking exhausted. She hung her purse on the hook in the entryway and slipped off her shoes. I sat on the couch in silence, watching her every move. You're still up? She asked, rubbing her eyes. Today is our anniversary, I said softly, suppressing the anger simmering inside me, forcing my voice to remain calm. Her mouth fell open slightly in surprise. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, she said apologetically. I've been so busy, it completely slipped my mind. She came over and wrapped her arms around mine. Too busy to even take one of my calls? She stiffened. You saw the news? She quickly tried to explain. Honey, none of that is real. It's just for publicity. Fina, I get it, but why couldn't you discuss it with me first? It had been over 5 hours since the story broke. Not a single text message from Chloe. Was she too busy, or did she just not think I deserve an explanation? Chloe looked at me, stunned, as if she couldn't believe I would ask such a thing. It was just a stunt, Julian. Don't be unreasonable. I am swamped. If I had to run every little thing by you, how would I ever get my work done? I stared at her in silence. After a long moment, I stood up. It's late. Get some rest. She reached out as if to stop me, but hesitated, her arm hovering in the air before falling back to her side. The next morning, when I opened my eyes, Chloe was already gone. After getting dressed, I noticed a glass of milk on the coffee table, still warm. A flicker of emotion went through me. How long had it been since she'd warmed milk for me? After breakfast, I got a call from the executive producer of The Masked Singer. I was a little surprised. Hadn't the show already wrapped? Julian, my man, I need to ask you for a little favor. Anything, Rick? Just name it. In this industry, nobody spoke to a heavyweight director like Rick Russo without a healthy dose of respect. But between my recent work as a writer for hit TV shows and my hidden identity as Orion, the hitmaker behind half the charts, I had my own leverage. Chloe just didn't know about it. You know that new script you wrote? The one you sent over to Vaughn? My niece just graduated, and I was hoping you could find a role for her. I frowned. Rick, you know Vaughn. The guy's a tyrant when it comes to casting. He demands the best, and I never interfere with the production side. Rick quickly interjected, Don't worry, my niece is real talent. Her acting is solid. If you have time, you can see for yourself. And Vaughn will definitely give you the courtesy. Worn down by his persistence, I finally agreed. After he hung up the phone, Vivian Russo's eyes sparkled with excitement. Uncle, did he say yes? Did Orion agree? Hiki husus milid fondly. He did. I wouldn't have bothered Julian Hayes for anyone but you. He's giving you a shot, but he wants to personally check out your acting this afternoon. You better not blow it. Vivian bounced on her feet. This is amazing. I've been a huge Orion fan forever. It's such a shame he hasn't made any public appearances in 3 years. For the elevator doors slid open, and a young woman in her early 20s rushed out, her face beaming. Oh my God, Orion, I can't believe I'm finally meeting you. He smiled at her infectious excitement. That's what my fans used to call me back in the day. Orion, you must be Vivian, I said. Where's your uncle? Vivian nodded eagerly. Yes, that's me. Director Russo is with a guest right now. I'm so sorry. He said to ask if you could wait with me in the conference room for a few minutes. I immediately liked her. Even with my face mask on, she'd recognize me instantly. A true fan. Lead the way. The network station in Chicago was massive. As Vivian led me down the hall, her occasional little hops of excitement started to lift my own mood. As we neared the conference room, we saw a commotion up ahead. A crowd was gathered, some holding cameras, others adjusting lights. It looked like a shoot was in progress. And then my expression froze. At the center of the crowd were a man and a woman. The woman was none other than Chloe. Vivian saw them, and her excitement grew. Orion, I think that's the crew for Coupled Up. The woman is the pop star Chloe Davis, and the guy is Leo Vance from Aura, that boy band that's been blowing up. Wow, a handsome guy and a beautiful girl. They look so good together. She quickly added, but Leo Vance is nothing compared to you, Orion. You way hotter. I forced a dry laugh. My eyes locked on the couple. Coupled Up was a long-running reality show, one of the network's biggest hits. In a strange way, I even had a hand in its creation. But I never dreamed I'd be here, watching my own wife film a dating show with another man. I knew it was fake, of course, but how was I supposed to accept this? My heart felt like it was being squeezed in a vice. The thought of Chloe having to laugh and flirt with another man. It felt like a betrayal. She didn't just forget to consult me. She didn't even bother to tell me. It was clear then. I didn't matter to her at all anymore. Chloe, I repeated her name silently in my head. The rest of the afternoon passed in a haze. Vivian's acting was genuinely good, a perfect fit for the role. I turned down Rick Russo's dinner invitation, ready to leave. Before I left, Vivian hesitated, then looked at me with hopeful eyes. Orion, will you ever make a comeback? You used to say that singing was your dream. The question had been on her mind, and the minds of countless other fans, for 3 long years. I opened my mouth, but the words wouldn't come. The silence stretched between us. Is your work more important than me, Chloe? After 5 years together, while fans I've never even met are still waiting for me, you can't even be bothered to send a text? Maybe our whole relationship was a mistake from the start. As 1,000 thoughts raced through my mind, a decision began to crystallize. Finally, I gave a firm nod. Yes, I will. It wasn't just an answer. It was a promise to myself. It was time to step out from behind the curtain and reclaim my career. Hearing my words, Vivian looked immensely relieved. She waved happily. I can't wait to see you again, Orion. For the next few days, I obsessed over how to stage my comeback. One evening, after finalizing the casting with Vaughn, I was driving home. As I approached the underground parking garage, 2 figures came into view. Chloe, and with her was Leo Vance, her co-star from the dating show. Are they still filming? I pulled the car over and scanned the area. No cameras, no crew, no one else in sight. Then, Leo Vance reached out and playfully ruffled Chloe's hair. In that instant, something inside me snapped. If it was for the show, I could have tried to understand. But this? What was this? And what did that make me after all these years? The frustration and anger that had been simmering for the past 6 months. The fake relationship, the dating show, all of it boiled over and consumed me. I threw the car door open, stormed over, and kicked Leo Vance to the ground. Then I grabbed Chloe's arm and pulled her behind me. Chloe stared at me, first in shock, then her expression hardened. Julian, what are you doing here? Why did you hit him? Do you have any idea what you're doing? She demanded. I looked at him coldly, my voice dripping with sarcasm. What am I doing here? If I wasn't here, I wouldn't have seen this guy putting his hands all over you. I know exactly what I'm doing. The real question is, do you? Chloe looked at me in disbelief. In all our years together, she had never heard me speak to her like this, and it left her speechless. Her mind replayed the last few seconds. Leo touching her hair, Julian seeing it. But I was just about to stop him when you showed up. She wanted to scream. Before she could explain, Leo scrambled to his feet. Seeing Chloe's wrist in my grip, he flew into a rage and swung a punch at me. My eyes went cold. I caught his fist, then sent him flying back with another hard kick. Stop it, Chloe yelled, finally coming to her senses. She shoved me, making me stumble back. As Leo got up again to throw another punch, she pulled him away. That's enough. Both of you stop. Seeing her defend him like that, shielding him from me with a knife to the heart. Leo clutched his jaw, his voice full of fury. Chloe, who the hell is this guy? I stared at Chloe, waiting. She hesitated, unable to meet my eyes. He's a friend of mine, she stammered. Her words were like ice water, extinguishing the fire of my rage in an instant. A friend, Leo scoffed. Looks more like some creeper. Chloe, you should stay away from people like this. And you, he shot a venomous glare at me. You just wait. Chloe shook her head, about to say something, but I cut her off, my voice flat. Tell me, am I just a joke to you? Then I turned to Leo. I'll be waiting. With that, I brushed the dust off my clothes, got back in my car, and drove away. Chloe stood frozen, watching me leave, an unbearable feeling of suffocation closing in on her. She wanted to run after me, but Leo was still there. If her relationship with me was exposed, it wouldn't just be her career on the line. It would be the dreams of all 5 members of her group, turned to ash. Leo's eyes were dark with malice. Just you wait. I'll make you pay for this. Chloe paced outside the front door, unable to bring herself to go inside. After work, she had rushed straight home, only to freeze on the doorstep. How is he? He hadn't answered her calls or texts. He must be furious, she thought, but it was all for work. A sense of injustice, mixed with annoyance, began to bubble up inside her. She was out there, working herself to the bone, fighting to stay at the top. Did he have any idea how hard that was? Couldn't he be a little more tolerant, a little more understanding? Steeling herself, Chloe opened the door. I was sitting silently on the living room couch. When I saw her, my expression was placid. You're home. Yeah, she nodded, walking over and sitting next to me without even taking off her shoes. Chloe, we need to talk. She rushed to explain. Honey, it's all a misunderstanding. It was for the show. It was supposed to be Jenna, but she had a last-minute conflict, so I had to fill in. So, in all this time, it never once occurred to you to tell me. I turned to look at her, my eyes calm and deep. Chloe froze, a flash of anger in her own eyes. Can't you just be understanding for once? I already told you, it was for work. Work? I let out a short, humorless laugh. Out of all the opportunities in the world, you had to choose that one. What choice did I have? Mr. Price called me personally. Was I supposed to say no? Besides, she retorted, if I don't work, are you going to support us? She regretted the words as soon as they left her mouth. In anger, people say things they don't mean, but she was too proud to apologize. So, I said quietly, between your work and me, you chose your work. Chloe's brow furrowed, her own anger flaring. You're being completely irrational. Let's get a divorce. Chloe froze, unable to believe what she'd just heard. What did you say? You want to divorce me over this? Her voice rose, her eyes burning into me. I sighed. Of course, it wasn't just about this one thing. Disappointment accumulates day by day, and I was tired. I no longer had the energy to argue about who was right or wrong. Seeing my silence, Chloe couldn't take it anymore. Fine, if that's what you want, then let's get a divorce. We'll go tomorrow and file the papers. With that, she stormed into the bedroom and slammed the door, the sound echoing through the apartment. I didn't feel the heart-wrenching pain I had expected. Instead, a strange sense of calm settled over me. I stared out the window into the endless darkness. So, it had finally come to this. In the dark bedroom, Chloe lay silently on the bed, her pillows slowly growing damp with tears she wouldn't let herself shed. The exhaustion from work was overwhelming. He's probably just saying that because he's angry, she thought, a drowsy haze settling over her. Tomorrow morning, I'll wake up and he'll have breakfast ready for me, just like always. Comforting herself with this thought, she drifted off to sleep. The moonlight faded, replaced by the first hints of dawn. It was a clear day. Chloe sat up, rubbing her face. She hadn't slept well. Normally, no matter how tired she was, a night's sleep would refresh her. Why did she still feel so drained? She sat there for a moment, then glanced at the empty space beside her. He hadn't come into the bedroom all night. Sitting at her vanity, she did something she rarely did. She put on a full face of makeup, determined not to let him see how worn out she looked. He's just bluffing, she told herself. When she opened the bedroom door, I was already waiting, everything prepared. You're awake? My voice was distant. I placed 3 stacks of A4 paper on the coffee table. Chloe nodded, her eyes fixed on the papers. Is he serious? The divorce agreement. 3 copies. I've already signed my part. Take a look. If there are no issues, you can sign it. Chloe said nothing, swallowing her anger as she picked up the papers. He's serious. How dare he? 2 condos, registered in both our names. We'll each take one. 1 Toyota Land Cruiser and 1 Porsche Panamera, registered to each of us. I'll take the Toyota. You take the Porsche. Joint savings total $78,610,000. We'll split it 50-50. No joint debts. Chloe looked up in shock. We have that much money. She remembered her income over the past few years, which amounted to maybe $20 million at most. Before they got married, their combined savings were only a few $100,000. I gave a bitter smile. I hadn't been idle after stepping back. Besides songwriting, I'd become a screenwriter. I had a hand in many of the hit dramas and reality shows of the last few years. I'd also built an extensive network of contacts and influence. I just stayed behind the scenes to protect our marriage from being exposed. I sold many of my songs to her label, Luna Media, specifically for her group. Well, I earned some of it, I said. You forget, I was a singer-songwriter before all this. Her earlier thought, on what grounds does he think he can divorce me? Crumbled. The pride she'd felt, believing she was the sole breadwinner, evaporated. I'll just take $20 million, she said, her head bowed. You earned the rest of it anyway. We're getting a divorce. I don't need your pity. Her heart ached. She couldn't bring herself to look at me. How did it come to this? I smiled faintly. It's marital property. We should split it evenly. If you're okay with it, just sign. Chloe forced a casual tone. What's the rush? I didn't answer, just held her gaze until she looked away and signed her name. Give the papers to your manager, Kelly. She can handle the legal proceedings. If this gets out, it'll be bad for your career. Just have her mail my copies when it's done. This place is yours. I figure you're used to it. And as for these photos, please get rid of them. Chloe kept her head down. I will. Is there anything else? I shook my head. No. Then I'm going to work. She tried to keep her voice steady, to walk out with some semblance of dignity. The moment the door clicked shut, she finally let the tears fall. Haley Davis dragged her heavy suitcase through the door, letting out a breath of relief. She punched in the security code and stepped inside. Oof! She walked straight into a handsome man, standing 6'1". Ow! Haley mumbled, rubbing her head. Julian, what are you doing just standing by the door? This. I winced as her head connected with my chin. That girl was always a walking whirlwind. Julian, is my sister busy? Is she not home? Wait, are you going somewhere? Why do you have a suitcase? Haley rattled off, her energy a stark contrast to the gloom that had settled over the apartment. Haley, your sister and I. Before I could finish, she waved a dismissive hand and gave my shin a playful kick. How many times do I have to tell you? Don't call me Haley. Call me sis, or Haley sis is fine too. If I called you Jules Bro, would you like it? I shook my head, a smile breaking through despite myself. Her antics were disarming. My smile faded as I looked at her seriously. Haley, your sister and I are divorced. You shouldn't call me your brother-in-law anymore. Haley cupped her ears, her small face a mask of confusion. Her voice shot up an octave. What did you say? She looked at me in utter disbelief. The loving couple she knew divorced? Are you messing with me? I'm not kidding. Haley was like a child, her emotions written all over her face. She grabbed my arms, her big eyes wide and glistening. When did this happen? Does my mom know? Why didn't you talk to me about something this huge? I gently held her by the shoulders. I know you're upset, but you need to calm down. Your sister and I signed the papers this morning. Your mom doesn't know yet. And this is between us. We don't need to consult you. Haley stomped her foot in frustration and kicked me again. This girl's first instinct was always to kick. No, I don't agree. It doesn't count. We're going to find my sister right now and get those papers back. Haley, my voice was firm. Your sister and I are divorced. It's over between us. Stop fooling around. My harsh tone must have startled her. She froze and let go of my arm. So, you're leaving? She asked quietly. I sighed, softening my voice. Haley, we're divorced. This condo belongs to her now. It's not right for me to stay here. I'm moving out today. Chloe can easily arrange an internship for you. Just talk to her when she gets home tonight. I've got things to do after I move, so I have to go. She reflexively grabbed my sleeve. I turned to look at her, my brow furrowed. I'll help you move, she said quickly, seeing my expression, trying to show she wasn't just being difficult. By the time we finished packing and setting up my new place, it was 1 p.m. I still had plenty of time for my other errands. Haley blinked. Where? Julian, where are you going? I'll come with you. I shook my head, exasperated. This isn't for fun. Why would you want to tag along? I have to keep an eye on you, she said, her expression firm. Make sure you're not meeting some other woman. I have to see for myself if you're the one who cheated on my sister. Fine, he sighed. Come on if you want. I grabbed my car keys and headed for the garage, not noticing the sly smile that flickered across her face. 30 minutes later, Stellar Entertainment? Haley read the name on the high-rise building. Julian, what are you doing here? Haley, if you're coming with me, you need to be quiet. She pressed her hands over her mouth, her eyes wide with mock innocence, telegraphing I'm not saying another word. Good afternoon, sir. Do you have an appointment? I'm afraid I can't let you up without one. I looked at the familiar reception desk. 3 years, and not much had changed. An appointment? Right? Let me just make a call. I smiled politely at the receptionist, avoiding the cliché of making a scene. Julian, I turned. A woman with a high ponytail, wearing a stylish khaki shirt and sunglasses, strode toward me. Her skin was flawless, and she carried herself with a sharp, confident energy. It really is you. Julian, I can't believe you're back at the agency. She took off her sunglasses, her lips curving into a delighted smile. Hey, Kira, I said. The receptionist immediately straightened up. Miss Young. Kira Young was the idol singer Stellar Entertainment had been heavily promoting for the last 2 years. She already had several hit songs and a massive fan base. Hi. Kira nodded at the receptionist before turning back to me, a pout forming on her lips. Julian, you haven't been to the office in forever. You never even called. Beside me, Haley was sizing Kira up with a critical eye. So, it's been a while. Look at you. You're a huge star now. I instinctively started to reach out to ruffle her hair like I used to, but stopped myself. Things were different now. She was a celebrity. She had an image to maintain. Kira wrinkled her nose, a little disappointed. Then her smile returned. Julian, are you free? Can I buy you a coffee? I teased her. You mean you want a coffee, don't you? Watch that figure. I can't right now. I have to see Kevin. Kira's expression fell. Oh, okay, she said reluctantly. Then as we walked towards the elevator, Kira finally noticed Haley trailing behind me. Julian, who's this? She kind of looks like Chloe Davis. She's Chloe's younger sister, I said casually, not catching the strange look that passed over Kira's face. Could you show her around for a bit? I have some business with Kevin. I knocked on the office door. Come in, a familiar voice called out. Kevin Miller was at his desk, buried in paperwork. He looked up and stood immediately. Julian, you came. Kevin looked at me with a mix of emotions. The last time we'd seen each other, he had been trying desperately to talk me out of retiring. Have a seat. If you want water, get it yourself. I'm not your assistant anymore. I poured myself a glass and took a sip. Kevin, I came to see you because I want to make a comeback. A comeback? Kevin looked surprised. What about Chloe? Is she okay with it? We're divorced, I said calmly. Divorced? Kevin's shock was palpable, quickly replaced by a heavy concern. Was it because of that gossip story? I shook my head. No, we just weren't right for each other anymore. Kevin clearly didn't believe me and was about to press further. I cut him off, pulling a USB drive. These are some new songs I wrote. It should be enough for a comeback. Take a listen. Realizing he wouldn't get any more out of me, Kevin's focus shifted, a spark of excitement in his eyes. He knew what I was capable of. 10 minutes later, Kevin opened his eyes, thoroughly impressed. Wow, these 2 tracks are both stronger than the lead single on Kira's new album. We talked for an hour. Before I left, he asked again, Are you sure about this? You're really coming back? I nodded firmly. All right, if you have a plan, I'll back you 100%. When I left his office, it took me a while to find Kira and Haley. They were in the middle of a heated argument. Ahem, what are you two fighting about? Seeing me, Kira's eyes lit up. Her usual bold demeanor vanished, replaced by a softer tone. Julian, you're really divorced? Haley shot back, gritting her teeth. So what if he is? It's none of your business. My brother-in-law and my sister are going to get back together. They're just on a break. A dark cloud formed over my face. My voice was low and dangerous. Haley, you, in her big mouth. Julian, have mercy. 11 Hey Vaughn, what's wrong? I had just left Stellar Entertainment when a call came in for Vaughn. I could tell from his voice that he was furious about something. I can't believe the nerve of some people. Who does she think she is, trying to pull a diva act on my set? Demanding rewrites? Get out of here. I threw her out on the spot. Since I had some free time, I told Vaughn to wait for me. I'd head over to the set. Julian, what happened? Is there some major drama? Haley's face was alight with excitement, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. Haley, if you don't learn to keep your mouth shut, I'm going to turn you over my knee, I said annoyed. There's a problem on the set of Golden Hour. 40 minutes later. What's the situation? Vaughn was still fuming. It's the actress we cast as the lead. If you hadn't asked me to give the girls from Eclipse a look, I never would have let someone like her on my set in the first place. It clicked. The original lead was one of Chloe's bandmates. The casting had been a favor to me. I originally wanted Chloe for this role, Vaughn grumbled. But that Mr. Price at Luna Media must be an idiot. He sent her over instead. So now, not only do I need a male lead, I have to recast the female lead too. As he spoke, Vaughn looked at me, a familiar glint in his eye. Julian, are you sure you won't reconsider playing the lead? Vaughn had asked me multiple times before to come out of retirement and star in one of his projects. A few days ago, I would have refused without a second thought. But now that I decided to make a comeback, I needed the exposure. I'm 28. Isn't that a little old to be playing a high school student? Seeing me waver, Vaughn's eyes lit up. Not at all. You got the acting chops, I know it. And you've got the looks for it. You don't look a day over 22. The character is a perfect fit for you. I've thought this through. Julian, you should do it. I've never even seen you on TV before. Haley chimed in, practically bouncing with excitement. Who's this? Vaughn asked, looking Haley up and down. My sister is Chloe Davis. You just said you originally wanted her for the part, right? We look a lot alike. What do you think of me? Hearing this, I finally understood her excitement all day. She wanted to act. Vaughn nodded. The resemblance is there. You playing a couple with Julian. It could work. You two have great chemistry. Haley was ecstatic. She grabbed my sleeve. Julian, you said you were making a comeback. This is a perfect opportunity. Say yes. In the end, I agreed to take the role. And Haley, a student at NYU's Tisch School of the Arts, turned out to have a surprising amount of talent. The happiest person of all was Vaughn. He now had both his leads. 12. On October 21st, the press conference for Golden Hour was held as scheduled. My appearance alongside Haley set Twitter on fire. Some of my old Orion fans recognized me and flooded social media with messages of support. But there was more backlash than praise. People questioned my acting ability, speculating that my 3-year absence was because I'd been blacklisted. The reaction to Haley, however, was overwhelmingly positive. They were thrilled to discover Chloe Davis had such a beautiful sister. Julian, the online chatter is pretty negative. People are doubting you. Want me to have PR handle it. Kevin was furious about the online comments. He knew my talent better than anyone. No need, Kevin. Let them talk. Once the show airs, the audience will see the truth. The dark night gave me dark eyes. My ringtone was cut off by an incoming call for Kevin. He answered, listened for a moment, and then hung up, his expression complicated. What's wrong? I asked immediately. It's Chloe. There's an internal memo leaking. She's pulling out of Coupled Up. Why? I was stunned. Coupled Up was the network's flagship show. Even a top-tier star like Chloe couldn't afford to anger the network. They had already started promoting the season with her and Leo Vance. Pulling out now would be a disaster for the viewers. If it got ugly, she could even be blacklisted. The details at the Luna Media headquarters. Mr. Price's face was dark with rage. Chloe Davis was quitting Coupled Up over some trivial issue, making an enemy of a major network in the process. Had he been too lenient with his artists? Did they all think they were untouchable? She still had a year left on her contract. Was she planning on not renewing? A year wasn't long, but it wasn't short either. A year on the sidelines was more than enough to destroy a pop idol's career. I hope you make the right choice. Chloe, Mr. Price thought, his eyes cold as ice. Time flew by. The filming of Golden Hour went smoothly, and within a month, we were already a third of the way through. I was driving Haley home. That girl had no sense of boundaries. Even though I was divorced from her sister, she still came to me with all her problems. Julian, is there really no chance for you and my sister? She's been in a really bad state this past month. I've seen her with red, puffy eyes a lot. Haley, what's between your sister and me is over. If you bring it up again, you can find your own way home from now on. Okay, I get it, she said, shutting up immediately. But the silence didn't last long. Julian, bad news, she suddenly exclaimed. I sighed, exasperated. Now what? Leo Vance posted on Twitter. He said my sister quit coupled up because she refused to do a scene where they had to hold hands. And he said you're a jealous loser who attacked him because you couldn't stand seeing them on the show together. The comments are brutal. They're tearing you and my sister apart. They're calling her a stuck-up diva and saying you're trash who isn't fit to be compared to Leo Vance. Leo Vance. My eyes turned cold. I had thought perhaps he didn't know Chloe and I were married, that he was an innocent victim in all this. But if he wanted to play this game, then he shouldn't blame me for what came next. After dropping Haley off, I drove straight to Stellar Entertainment. Kevin, I said, my voice hard. I want to make Leo Vance and Luna Media pay. All the connections I had built over the years weren't just for show. Trece Luna Media. Mr. Price was on a rampage, smashing everything in his office. Can someone tell me what the hell is going on? Why are there suddenly dozens of expose articles about our artists being leaked online? Leo Vance stood there, his face pale and drawn. The constant stream of negative press had taken its toll. Uncle, you have to help me, he pleaded. Most of the stories are about me. Someone is deliberately targeting me. Mr. Price slapped him across the face. You idiot, he roared. As my various identities were revealed one by one, Luna Media finally realized who they had provoked. Online, public opinion of me did a complete 180. My status as a legendary hitmaker and sought-after screenwriter earned me widespread admiration. My career was back on track. In just 3 months, we wrapped filming on Golden Hour, and my comeback album was released. At the wrap party, I got completely drunk, trying to release the pin-up frustration I'd been carrying for so long. Ugh, you're so heavy. Haley struggled to get me into my bedroom. I lay on the bed like a dead weight, motionless. She knelt on the floor, propping her elbows on the edge of the bed and resting her chin in her hands, her gaze soft and hazy as she looked at me. Julian, there's a secret I've kept for a long time, she whispered. I've always had a crush on you. I'm only brave enough to say it when you're drunk. Mom really likes you. I wish you and my sister would get back together. Haley sighed wistfully. If only I had met you first. But that's not how it happened. She watched me in silence. Suddenly, she felt her heart begin to race. After a moment, she murmured to herself, this might be my only chance. No one will ever know. Just a little memento for my secret crush. The next morning, I woke up with a pounding headache, feeling like something was off. After a quick breakfast, I decided to go for a run to clear my head. I was surprised to see her there. Long time no see. Chloe looked thinner. My feelings were a complicated mess. Long time no see, she replied. I can't believe I ran into you here. I came here to see you. Is there still a chance for us? Her eyes were fixed on me, searching. I rubbed the back of my neck and gave a bitter, apologetic shake of my head. I understand, she said after a long pause. Goodbye, Julian. She turned and walked away. Watching her go, my own heart ached. After all, we had loved each other so deeply once. Julian, my sister, she tried to kill herself. You have to come quick. The world went dark around me. My entire body felt numb. What? My voice trembled. Suicide? A flood of memories washed over me. All the moments with Chloe, the good times flashing through my mind in a dizzying montage. I raced to the hospital. Haley was standing outside the operating room, sobbing uncontrollably. Her usual vibrant energy was gone, replaced by a raw, helpless panic. The light above the door went out, and the doctor emerged. I rushed forward. Doctor, how is she? You got her here just in time. She's out of danger. Hearing those words, Haley let out a choked sob of relief and collapsed in my arms. I sighed. Those two sisters were going to be the death of me. 4 months earlier. The sun was beginning to set as Chloe Davis finished her last schedule for the day. She said goodbye to her manager and walked her car. Logically, she should have been happy to finally be heading home to rest. Instead, she felt a profound sense of irritation. She knew her marriage to Julian was in trouble, but she was always so busy, she never had time to address it. And even if she had the time, she wouldn't know where to start. Just thinking about it gave her a headache. She sighed and started the car. She vaguely remembered Julian asking her to come home early. He seemed to say that every day, whatever she thought, dismissing it. Just then, her phone rang. She was in no mood to talk, whether it was a work call or a call from Julian. Mr. Price? Is something wrong? It was the vice president of Luna Media. Chloe, you know your bandmate was scheduled to appear on Coupled Up, right? Yes, Jenna. I think they were starting the promo for it today. Well, there's been a change of plans. The director Vaughn offered her a lead role in his new series. You know how many people would kill for a part in one of his shows? It's a huge opportunity. So, the company needs you to fill in for her on Coupled Up. Get over to the studio now. Chloe's brows knitted together in a tight line. She felt cornered. Mr. Price sighed. What's the problem? Just get over here and get ready, the voice on the other end said, impatient. Chloe couldn't think of a valid excuse. Though she was married, very few people knew, so she couldn't use it as a reason to refuse. After hanging up, she felt torn. How was she going to explain this to Julian? No man will be okay with this. She bit her lip. Julian said he'd always support my career. This is too complicated to explain over the phone. I'll just tell him when I get home. When she arrived at the studio, she learned her male co-star was Leo Vance, a senior artist from her own agency. They had a decent working relationship, so they started chatting easily. To play up Leo's caring gentleman image, the producers had him drape his jacket over her shoulders. By pure chance, this was the moment a paparazzo snapped a photo from a distance. Chloe wanted to refuse. She hated physical contact with strangers, but with cameras everywhere, she felt she had no choice but to endure it. A short while later, her phone rang. They were still filming, so she couldn't talk for long. I'm in the middle of something. Can't talk. I'll be skipping dinner. She said the words quickly and hung up. By the time the shoot wrapped, it was late. Chloe dragged her exhausted body home. When she opened the door and saw Julian still awake, she felt a surge of warmth. Learning it was their anniversary, she apologized profusely. But hearing the accusation in Julian's voice, a sense of injustice and an unnameable anger flared up, and she shot back with a few careless words. He got angry and walked away. Seeing him go into the bedroom, she wanted to stop him, but the words wouldn't come. Then she saw the candles and the special dinner Julian had prepared. The warmth returned, chasing away some of her fatigue. She thought about how good Julian had always been to her. They had problems, yes, but they still loved each other. She believed they could solve anything. She also reflected on her own behavior. But every time she came home, she was so mentally and physically drained that seeing him just seemed to trigger her frustration, putting her in a terrible mood. She opened the bedroom door to find he was already asleep. The next morning, to make up for the night before, she warmed him a glass of milk and made him eggs and toast. After another long day of filming, Leo Vance offered to drive Chloe home. She refused, but he insisted. They were colleagues, and she didn't want to make a scene. As they were saying goodbye near her building, she never imagined Leo would try to ruffle her hair. She was even more shocked to see Julian standing right there, witnessing it all before he attacked Leo. She was angry that Julian would resort to violence and try to reason with him, momentarily forgetting about Leo. She never thought Leo would fight back. Her only instinct was to separate them. When Leo asked who Julian was, her first thought was to protect their secret. The fewer people who knew, the safer they were. Julian's final words before he left nearly broke her heart. She wanted to run after him, to explain everything, even to announce their marriage to the world. But she thought of her bandmates, of how their careers would be ruined. She had no choice but to handle Leo first. When she got home, she wanted to explain, but her own frustration got the better of her, and they argued. She had never, ever wanted a divorce. Hearing him say the word felt like a physical blow, and she fled. She told herself that after a night's sleep, everything would be fine. The next day, she realized he was serious. She was too proud to back down. Her hand trembled as she signed the papers. The moment she walked out the door, she broke down. Why'd things turn out this way? Epilogue. From Chloe's journal, it's really over. I haven't slept properly in days. The doctor says it's anxiety. He's making a comeback. Without me holding him back, he can finally chase his own dreams again. He was always meant to be a star. He's starring in Vaughn's new show. I'm happy for him. I just don't understand why Haley is the female lead. Wasn't it supposed to be Jenna? I hate my job. We had a scene today where we were supposed to hold hands. I couldn't do it. If he saw that, I knew there would be no hope of us ever getting back together. I know quitting will make the company furious, but I don't care anymore. I haven't had a drink in so long. Strange. Even drunk, I can't sleep. When I'm sober, I can't stop thinking about him. It's been 2 weeks. The insomnia hasn't gotten any better. There's this constant weight on my chest. What is wrong with me? Last night, I just sat by the window and stared outside. For a second, I thought about jumping. The impulse scared me. I need to find a new doctor. The doctor says I have depression. That's ridiculous. I'm Chloe Davis. I'm strong. I don't get depressed. Fine. I accept it. Now I have to take pills every day. This is what I deserve. I didn't appreciate Julian when he was here, and now that he's gone, I'm falling apart. My dream. What a joke. Why did I ever think it was so important? Forget him? The doctor's pills are supposed to help, but I don't want to forget him. This world feels so suffocating. My heart hurts so much. I'm crying again. Leo Vance posted on Twitter. The whole world is attacking me, but I don't even care anymore. But why are they attacking Julian, too? They're all monsters. The scandals at Luna Media are exploding online. It's karma. At least this takes the heat off of him. So, he had all these other identities. His album is out. The songs are beautiful. Haley told me they've wrapped filming. Julian got drunk at the party. I made him some soup to help with the hangover, but I couldn't bring myself to go inside. He was out for a run. He looked sober. I appeared in front of him. On impulse, I asked him if there was still a chance for us. My world went dark again. I arrived full of hope and left with nothing but despair. Julian, I hope the rest of your life is happy.